Okay. So today's session is about a minikube. So actually, minikube is a lightweight Kubernetes implementation that creates a virtual machine on your local machine and deploys a simple cluster containing just one node. So minikube is available for Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. So instead of going and creating a virtual machine on our local, I'll be creating it on an EC2 instance from AWS. So the prerequisites for minikube are like what we'll need is it requires at least 2 CPUs or more and 2 GB of free memory and 20 GB of free disk space and internet connection, and as well as a container or virtual machine manager. In this case, we'll be using Docker. I'll go ahead. I'll explain how we are installing Docker when we get there. But for now, let's go ahead and create an instance, launch an instance which has 2 CPUs. Okay, Amazon Linux. This I'm not changing this image, but I'll be choosing an instance type here as, okay, we can go ahead and click this. So it will give us a clear information about how many CPUs, how much memory, and more information of that instance. So here, in this case, I'm choosing T2.medium, which has 2 CPUs and 4 GB memory. And when I'm choosing medium, like make sure you stop the instance after you're done with it because it costs money. It's not a free tier. So select this instance type. And let's go then more here. And this is my key. Let's go ahead and select. Okay, I have a security group, which I'll be using here, so this has to be open for all traffic. So we will be browsing it through the web browser. So make sure if you are creating a new security group, make sure it is the inbound rule is selected as all. I mean, you have an inbound rule that accepts all traffic when you browse it from the internet. It should be available. So I'm increasing the volume here. It's not mandatory. You can also add one new volume, and 8.8.16 will be enough as well. So I'm going, okay, I'm not giving any tags or any more information, just this is good. Launch this instance. Okay, let's go ahead and connect. I hope this is big enough like to see.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, no. Okay, so, okay, now I'm in. So for one more thing is there are some prerequisites that we need as we mentioned here. We need Docker, right? As we mentioned in the documentation, we need Docker. Before Docker, we need kubectl. So we'll go ahead and install kubectl and as well as Docker, and then install minikube. So for installing the kubectl, we can do like install kubectl. Okay. When you search for the installation steps, it will take you to the install kubectl binary with curl on Linux. So if, in the installation steps, it is showing the download the latest release with this command. If for now I am going ahead with this latest release itself, but if you need any specific version, he's asking you to change the command here. But for now, we can just go ahead and copy this. Okay, so we do change permissions. So now you see the kubectl have only read write permissions. So I'm changing the permissions to executable permissions to kubectl. Okay, we need to be a root, so I'm just giving a sudo chmod. Okay, and okay, let's see where it is. Oh, actually, we have to move to user local bin. So I'm going ahead and you have to be a root user. Sudo move user bin user local bin. Okay, I'm moving dot kubectl to user local bin. Now let's see. Okay, so kubectl is installed. So let's go ahead and install Docker. For Docker installation, here, okay, here we are using Amazon Linux machine image 2. So just this command from Amazon Linux extras install Docker y will do. So sudo okay, is installing Docker. Okay, so for any service, like once we install, we have to start the service. So sudo start. Okay, let's enable sudo systemctl enable Docker and check the status. Sudo systemctl status Docker and it is active and running. That's good. So Docker info sudo. Okay, looks good. So we have Docker installed. Now let's go ahead and install minikube. Actually, before that, we will have to, okay, we'll change the permissions when we are running, but we have to add this EC2 user to the Docker group when running the minikube. But when we are starting the minikube, we'll need that. But let's see, let's go ahead and install the minikube. So for installing the minikube, we have this documentation. Under this documentation itself, I just typed in the Google as install steps to install minikube. So here I'm selecting Linux and I'm copying this command as is. So it will install minikube. Okay. let's do the -LTR here. We have that minikube and it has only read write permissions. So I'm changing the permissions to executable permissions for minikube. And let's move this to user bin. Sudo minikube to local bin. Okay, let's see which minikube. Okay, we have the minikube. So like for starting the minikube, you have to be a root user. So I'm switching the user here, and okay, let's go there. Once I run it, we'll see. So minikube start ---- driver ---- So when we run the minikube, right? Like for example, like when we start the minikube, if you give just the minikube start, it will, there are some like when we are, as I mentioned in the first place, like when we do our local machine as a virtual machine, then it will take the, like if we just give the minikube start, it will just take it as a virtual machine and run it. But in our case, we are running it on the EC2 instance, which is already a virtual machine. So we have to explicitly provide the driver, which is Docker. So let's run this. So here, okay, let's see what it is saying. Okay, it is. If you are running minikube within a VM, consider using. Okay, let's come out and see. Let's exit out of the root user. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is what. So I am running the minikube. I'm starting the minikube as a EC2 user. So this it is saying you don't have, I mean, you are not added to the Docker group, or you don't have permissions as a EC2 user. So like, let's go ahead and add your user to the Docker group. That's what the error, I mean, that's what the suggestion is. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, my bad. It did install, that's okay. Let's see which minikube. Okay, it is there. So let's go ahead and change the EC2 permissions. And let's start. Okay, I'm just rebooting the machine. Must be a root. Okay. Okay. Just give it a minute and we'll log in back and start the minikube. Okay, still, I think it's still coming up. Okay, let's try again. Okay, I'm connected. Let's start the minikube. but let's see. Okay, now it is. It may take a minute, but let's see. Okay, our minikube is ready. Let's see. We have to enable and check the status. So I think let's just check the status. Yeah. Okay, let's enable. Mm,
Can you start the service first? Have you started the service? You already did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you use sudo to enable that?
Mhm. Okay, I think, yeah, I understand. What's that? Hmm. It is started and it is saying kubectl is now configured to use. Hmm.
So can you do ls-lrt, Manasa? Yeah, can you delete that one actually from there?
Now start again.
Yeah, try to start again. Basically, when you provide --- driver equal to none means it's gonna run on the VM, right? So if you don't provide that --- driver equal, if you don't provide that, it's gonna create a VM virtualization basically.
Yes.
It's gonna create a virtual environment for that minikube and it's gonna run that minikube on that virtual environment. Now, when you do provide --- driver equals to Docker, it is going to take Docker as the virtual environment. So the minikube is going to be run on Docker environment basically. Docker has been installed on this machine, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, now it is. That's a minikube version. It's not. Let's check the status. Okay, maybe if it is showing a minikube version, it is installed. But let's just try. Let's just try to check the nodes on it. Like kubectl. Yeah, see here, it is there. We don't have to. I think I have to check the command to check the status. Let's see, minikube status. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That minikube is a command as well, not systemctl.
Right. I forgot that. So minikube status will show us the status, and like minikube kubectl get nodes will show us the nodes and which are all ready. So this minikube is the node, and it is ready to use. So let's go ahead and so far we have installed kubectl and installed Docker and we need those prerequisites in order to run the minikube. So our minikube is running and it is ready. So let's go ahead and like create a container. It's grabbing. Okay, actually I'm following this document which is already in our group chat where it shows to see. Let us run our first container. I'm just using this to deploy our first container. I can share the link as well after this class. Okay, our container is there and the pod is running on it. So let's see. And we have to expose this container to a particular port. Okay, service is hello minikube is exposed, and then we'll get the services which are all running on this container. So kubectl get svc will give us information about the services that are running on the pod and the container. So hello minikube, and this is the port that it is running on. So when we after so after this, if we connect with the public IP with this port, but it's not showing up the with the public IP, but I'm able to connect and show it up on the dashboard. But let's see, let's try. So here what he says is the port the hello minikube is exposed to. We can access our container. See here, we can access our container via the EC2 instance port on the web browser with the port that it is available. For him, it's 32233, and for me, it's 32509. Let's go ahead and move this. Let's go ahead and grab our public IP and the port that it is exposed to. So 2501. Yeah, this is not showing up. Like for him, if you see here, we can access our container here. Yeah. So far we deployed the container and we are able to see it. But not from the browser. I don't know what the issue is now yet, but I'll figure it out. So I can show it on the dashboard. Like, so we will. So when a container or when a node is available with the pods or containers in it, like we can view them from the dashboard. So let's go ahead and and also here when we have to add on the minikube. Let's first add on the dashboard. It's like if you see minikube dashboard list, minikube add-ons list. These are all the add-ons we can enable from the minikube list. So here dashboard is disabled. So let's just go ahead and enable. Okay, the dashboard add-on is enabled. So if you see list again, let's see the dashboard here. Now the dashboard is enabled. Okay, so if we have dashboard enabled, if we are connecting from our local machine, if we are creating a virtual machine from our local machine, then we can directly connect to the dashboard from the browser. But in our case, we are using an EC2 instance. So once we have enabled the dashboard, we can directly we can directly view the dashboard from the EC2 instance, not from our local machine. So in order to view it, in order to look at the dashboard from our local machine, we have to do SSH tunnel, which is, so basically SSH tunneling is nothing but what are all, where all the requests that comes to that particular port will be routed through when we do SSH tunneling. See here, SSH tunnel allows connections made to a local port to be forwarded to a remote machine via secure channel. So we will be doing SSH tunneling so that the request that comes to that port will be routed to a, will expose to a particular port, so that will be available at that port. So we will just I'll show you. So in order to do the SSH tunneling, we have to open a one more browser and do this command, like SSH-I, our key, and local port, local host, and remote port of the minikube dashboard. So this remote port of minikube dashboard we'll get from the URL. So when you do dashboard, minikube dashboard -- URL, this will give us the URL. See here, this is the remote port that it is accessible through. So remote port of the minikube dashboard and the user and our public IP. Let's go ahead and open a different terminal. So SSH. Okay, I'm going to my key folder and do SSH. -I. Launch ec2.pem is my key, and -L 8080 localhost, and the port from the URL. And EC2 user. Grab the public IP. Okay, we are connected here. So let's go ahead and minimize this and grab this link. And we'll have to change the port that we have changed here to 8080. Okay. So
That's a great job. Yeah.
So, so far here, see, this is our pod, and it shows it is running, and hello minikube is our pod. And we can view the namespaces here, and as well as Vishnu, it doesn't show any deployments, but I have tried deploying one.
You created?
Yeah, I mean, I've tested it.
Yeah.
But we can go ahead and deploy one more pod, and it will show us in the deployments.
Yeah.
This is the use the kubectl create command to create a deployment that manages a pod, and the pod runs a container based on the provided Docker image. So from the Docker image, I'm just grabbing this link, and it will. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going ahead and deploying this. So it created hello node, and let's see, kubectl. kubectl get all will show us all the deployments and all the services that are running. So here, if you see our minikube and service Kubernetes, and hello node is the one that I just deployed. And let's see, let's refresh it here. Oh, sorry. There. Let's grab the URL again. Oh, sorry.
Can you go ahead and yeah, so run that command minikube dashboard -- URI.
But it will change the port again when you run it again. We have to do the SSH tunneling again.
Yeah, I think that is the case, I guess.
But it should no, when we say, let's say if we are deploying into a, like after a couple of days, if we deploy a new pod, then do we have to refresh? Or I mean, in our case, if it is an EC2 instance, in order to view the dashboard, we have to go through it. But if not, if it is a virtual machine, we can directly access it, right? So I think, okay, then then I can just go ahead and MiniCube dashboard. I can have the URL. Yeah, it's exposed to a different port soon. So let's go ahead and open the window.
Use capital D, downloads capital D, go back. And use up arrow one more time. Yeah, just change that port. No, use one more time, I think.
I open a new window.
Okay, but you have that in history right now. That changing the port, like a forwarding SSH tunnel. You don't have it.
But it is not showing up.
Okay, that's the final one that you can see.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
and then you need to type. Yeah. Can you type history? I think that history can get you.
One, right? This one, yes.
Yes. Is that the same public IP?
Just making sure.
Yeah. No, it's a different public IP.
Where did it come from?
Yeah, use Control C and I use up arrow. Yeah.
Okay, I'm connected now. Let me grab the URL. It might change something. What did we change?
Yeah, grab that URL and change that port. You see that you have 41791 there.
Yeah, URL. Oh, no.
Can you check that HTTP? All the way right side, yeah.
It was strange. Sorry, I should have just let it be.
Yeah, that's fine. But so what exactly happened is a question mark actually. So I can see something fishy with this changing that tunnel actually. So that port might not be available this time. Instead of port 8080, can you do it like a different port that SSH tunneling? Yeah. Can you try to do it?
No, I'm logged in.
Yeah. Is up arrow. Yeah, 8081. Yeah, now go ahead and access that 8081. There you go.
Yeah, I see the deployments now.
Yeah, can you go ahead and click on that?
On the node.
Click on it.
Yeah.
Okay, go one step behind. If you want to see the configuration of this deployment, if you go to that three dots on the right side, click on that 3 dots on the right side. You see that you can scale the deployment any number of times you want, and you can edit. If you go to edit, you see that this is the deployment YAML file actually. So you will have the Docker image, whatever the image you used for this deployment, you will have entire configuration of your deployment in this like a deployment file actually. So you can update this deployment on the fly if something goes wrong. Let's say something messed up in the production, and you can go ahead and update your deployment on the fly actually. And you can go ahead and cancel this. Yeah. Cancel it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you go click there right side, again 3 dots on the right side. Yeah, so you can restart the deployment, and you can delete the deployment, and you can edit the deployment, and you can scale the deployment. And go to parts on the left side. So this is a complete Kubernetes dashboard. This is a minikube, but if you log into your, if you go back to your like organization Kubernetes cluster, nothing changes. Everything's this is exactly how it looks like. Okay, and let's say these are the parts that are available at the moment actually. If you go click on like any of those, select any of those parts on the right side.
Here on the right side.
Right side, yeah, 3 dots. Yeah, you can go ahead and delete that part. Delete it.
I sure want to delete.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, delete it.
Yeah, it's terminated.
Okay, and then let's see what happens after some time. Can you refresh it?
It disappeared.
Okay, that part has gone.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see nodes? No, you cannot see nodes. Yeah, you see that there is a nodes. So this is only one node. Click on that node. Okay, this is the node information. Now go back to that node. Actually, nodes. If you go back to that nodes, actually. Yeah, so yeah, click on that. You can edit and you can delete that node. No, don't do that. So yeah, click on that show all.
Where is it?
Yeah, the show all, you see that show all under the labels actually. Under the labels, you see show all. Yeah, click on that. So those are the like a base images that we deployed, and all that kind of stuff actually. And you can even see store secrets and the storage classes and the config maps on the left side. So this is a complete cluster. This cluster has only one node. Basically what happens is this is a one node Kubernetes cluster, which is called a minikube. If you delete a pod, or if you delete a running container, if you're deleting a pod on a specific node, you know what exactly Kubernetes does? It will relaunch that pod on that node again. Here it gone, actually it gone, like the pod has been gone, but Kubernetes try to redeploy that node on the same, redeploy that pod on the same node actually. It will restart it. If you are deleting something, that means you are restarting that node actually. Can you select 3 dots on the right side actually?
For the pods vision?
Yeah.
If you don't want to restart it, how do they remove it from here, Vishnu?
If you don't want to restart it?
Yeah, if I want to remove the pod forever.
Oh, if you want to remove the pod forever, you will have to remove from the deployment actually.
Okay.
You will have to update your deployment configuration, and you will have to reapply using same kubectl create and -f and the deployment file actually. That's how you can delete entire part. But when you deleting something, that means you are restarting it.
Oh.
Okay, so it's which is very equivalent. Let's say one of your parts or one of your containers is down, and Kubernetes is managing them. It will send the traffic to a different same container on a different node, but it will try to restart the container on the failure node basically. Okay, so this is how your Kubernetes dashboard looks like. You can say. And if you go to ingress and ingress classes services, that's a load balancer. You don't have any load balancers deployed. If you go to services, this is you see that. So minikube. So this is the you can say service means kind of load balancer. This is a network basically. Okay, if you click on that hello minikube on the right side, 3 dots, yeah, click on that, edit. It's a deployment file. Okay, can you click on that the bottom one? You can go ahead and cancel it. Click on that bottom one, edit.
Is there load balancer here?
Yeah, this service actually. So we're deploying the service, but with nothing. Load balancer service is nothing but load balancer. If you want to see actual load balancer, if you go to that ingress, cancel that. That ingresses, right? You don't have anything. You will have to explicitly specify, okay, the traffic from what cider in the sense, what set of instances to what set of instances. You will have to create that ingress rule and you will have to deploy that rule. Then actual service will come into the picture actually. Are you guys getting me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the secrets is like secret data for the pods. Let's say not like we cannot store entire like entire configuration secrets. You can say something like, let's say you have something in your vault, right? Ansible vault, or you have something in your usernames and a password for your database servers. Nobody is going to save entire secrets in these secrets, Kubernetes secrets cluster, Kubernetes cluster secrets, but they'll, let's say there is a one pod trying to communicate with another pod, and they have to communicate each other, and then they're going to need a usernames and a password. That kind of secrets will be stored, like a very limited, very small space, small data, that kind of stuff. And you will have a roles and role bindings. Roles are nothing but like what can talk to what, which is like a let's say you can say it's not an IAM role, but it's a kind of very similar, like a permissions kind of role. You can say that. Persistent volumes is container storage. Actually. So container storage, let's say on the fly, right? Like a RAM. When you are accessing something, there is got to be a memory, right? There is got to be a storage to access something, right? That's a persistent storage actually, you can say. And yeah, so this is how Kubernetes cluster looks like in a dashboard actually. Okay. Anybody have any questions actually?
Actually, before that, I'd like to add one point, Vishnu.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I tried to test it before yesterday, while starting the minikube, when I started the minikube, it asked me for CRI Docker installation as well as contract installations. But now when we do it, it did not. But I can add these links if you guys want. If you guys get errors like Kubernetes, minikube need CRI Docker to be installed, then go ahead and use those links.
Yeah, please add those links to in the chat actually. Sure. That would be really helpful. Any other questions from anybody? Okay. Yeah, Manasa, can you make me host actually?
Yeah, sure. You have the host.
Yeah.